From Heiress to Fugitive, The Fall of Isabel Dos Santos. Oh ho, away, away, away. Oh ho, away, away. Once hailed as Africa's richest woman and a symbol of entrepreneurial success, Isabel Dos Santos has become an international fugitive, her lavish lifestyle reduced to a shadow of its former glory. The daughter of former Angolan President José Eduardo dos Santos, Isabel amassed her fortune during her father's rule. She claimed to be a self-made billionaire, but allegations of corruption, embezzlement, and money laundering revealed a much darker narrative. The rise to fame and fortune. Isabel Dos Santos rose to prominence as a billionaire entrepreneur, with her business empire spanning telecommunications, banking, oil, and media. Forbes magazine once celebrated her as the wealthiest woman in Africa, citing her staggering net worth and influence. She controlled significant stakes in Angola's state oil company, Sonangol, after being controversially appointed as its chairwoman in 2016. Her properties included a $35 million yacht, sprawling mansions in Monaco and the UK, and a lifestyle surrounded by celebrities like Paris Hilton. Isabel also gained popularity through her active Instagram account, amassing over 600,000 followers who marveled at her luxurious lifestyle. However, her empire began to crumble as investigations unearthed deep-seated corruption tied to her businesses and political connections. The downfall. After the death of her father in 2022, the tide turned against Isabel. João Lourenço, Angola's new president, launched anti-corruption campaigns targeting officials and elites who had enriched themselves under the previous regime. Isabel became the primary target. In 2019, leaked documents known as the Luanda Leaks exposed how she and her husband, Sindika Dokolo, diverted billions from Angola's state funds into private accounts. Courts in Angola and Europe froze approximately $788 million in assets linked to Isabel, including stakes in companies in Portugal, the UK, and the Netherlands. In 2022, Interpol issued a red notice against Isabel, labeling her a fugitive from justice wanted for corruption and money laundering. Hiding in Dubai. Oh ho, away, away, away. Oh ho, away, away. Fleeing Angola, Isabel sought refuge in Dubai, where she now lives with her mother in Southaf, a modest multi-story apartment tower. Reports reveal Isabel and her mother lease out one of the apartments to sustain a basic income. Her extravagant lifestyle has been drastically curtailed, and she now relies on her mother's resources. While her Instagram posts depict a semblance of luxury, they reveal a woman struggling with the weight of legal battles and public disgrace. The Instagram illusion. On October 14, 2024, Isabel posted photos that attempted to portray a life of happiness and normalcy. However, critics and observers noted the stark differences. Her once vibrant and healthy appearance has faded into a gaunt and pale figure, a visible sign of stress and uncertainty. Her smile seems forced, and her eyes betray a mix of fear and anxiety, hinting at the psychological toll of her predicament. The posts starkly contrast with her past images of yachts, exclusive parties, and designer clothing, further highlighting her fall from grace. Legal troubles and allegations. Oh ho, away, away, away. Oh ho, away, away. Isabel continues to deny all allegations, claiming she is a victim of political persecution. She insists her wealth was built through hard work and legitimate business ventures. However, the evidence against her paints a different picture. Dutch courts found she had diverted millions from Angola's state funds into personal accounts. Investigations by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, Luanda Leaks, revealed how she exploited her father's political influence to secure lucrative contracts and siphon public funds. Multiple countries, including Portugal, Angola, and the UK, have frozen her assets and launched investigations into her financial dealings. Life in exile. Isabel's current life in Dubai is a far cry from her days as a billionaire heiress. Without access to her frozen funds, she faces mounting legal fees and limited financial resources. Her attempts to portray resilience on social media only deepen the scrutiny and criticism she faces worldwide. Conclusion: Isabel Dos Santos's dramatic fall from being Africa's richest woman to a fugitive living in exile is a cautionary tale of how unchecked power and corruption can lead to downfall. As Angola seeks justice for billions lost to embezzlement, Isabel remains a controversial figure, both as a symbol of excess and as a reminder of the deep inequalities that continue to plague the continent. Whether she will face trial or remain in exile, her story marks a critical chapter in Angola's fight against corruption. On December 18, 2024, Isabel Dos Santos appeared on BBC News African, answering a litany of questions in connection with her corruption case. Analyzing Isabel Dos Santos's responses, a case of aloofness to Angola's struggles? In a revealing interview with BBC's Alan Kasuja, Isabel Dos Santos, the daughter of Angola's former president Eduardo dos Santos, defends her reputation amidst allegations of corruption and money laundering. Despite her status as Africa's richest woman and her claims of contributing to Angola's economy, Dos Santos's responses in the interview highlight a disconnect from the realities faced by ordinary Angolans. Here are key statements from the interview that reflect her detachment from the country's socio-economic struggles and her focus on business interests. Statements indicating aloofness to the suffering of Angolans and focus on business interests.
The telecom company I built is still the largest telecom company in Angola. But in Angola, my case, it's definitely a case of political persecution. There's no doubt about that. I think the Angolan public opinion is aware of that. And hopefully one day it will become even more clear.
I wonder if you'd understand that our listeners will see you as one of the richest women in Africa, and your country one of the poorest. And they'll remember that your name is Isabel Dos Santos and say, aha! President's daughter.
Yes. Now, you mentioned something very interesting. You say that my country is one of the poorest. I have to say that Angola is the first or the second largest oil producer in the continent. And there are many businesses and many business people that make money in Angola. I think that opportunities in Africa are for Africans. Opportunities in our continent are
And it
for
helps
us.
if your father is the president.
By virtue of the family that I'm born to, yes, I'm more exposed to the world, to people. I get better network, I get better contacts. That's true. I have to recognize that. But those are contacts, networks, opportunities. Then how do you go and you implement that? How do you go and then develop that? Are you able to build something out of that? And especially if it's in the private sector, then that's already on your shoulders. So I've, on purpose, I guess, chosen to always work in the private sector, where there's competition, where there's other players. So I don't work in a monopoly market. I did not work with government contracts. I was not a supplier to the government. I was not a supplier to the state.
Do you sometimes just wish you'd...
Here is further evidence of Isabel's selfishness, aloofness and detachment from the suffering of Angolan people, which is characteristic of the corrupt government elite in Africa. 1. Lack of empathy for Angolans' economic struggles. Isabel Dos Santos: I still have my CEOs and companies are still running. I still employ over 10,000 people. I'm still one of the largest taxpayers. Analysis: Isabel frames her contributions in terms of her business operations, failing to address the broader economic hardships faced by the general Angolan population. 2. Defensiveness about her wealth. Isabel Dos Santos: I've created over 200,000 jobs. I've been one of my country's largest taxpayers. Alan Kasuja: How much access do you have to money right now? Isabel Dos Santos: You'd be surprised because it is something that I will not answer, it's not really relevant. Analysis: While highlighting her contributions, Isabel evades questions about her wealth, avoiding any reflection on the optics of her financial status amidst widespread poverty. 3. Privileged perspective on opportunities. Isabel Dos Santos, it helps if your father is the president. By virtue of the family that I'm born to, yes, I'm more exposed to the world, to people. I get better network. I get better contacts. Analysis. Isabel openly acknowledges the advantages of her familial ties without acknowledging how this privilege contrasts sharply with the lack of access to such opportunities for ordinary Angolans. 4. Dismissive attitude toward corruption allegations. Isabel Dos Santos, my companies haven't been funded by the Angolan government. I've never received subsidies by the Angolan government. Isabel Dos Santos, this is a case of political persecution. Analysis. By framing the corruption allegations as political persecution, Isabel disregards the systemic corruption concerns in Angola and their impact on public services and development. 5. Focus on self-image and legacy. Isabel Dos Santos, I'm a pioneer. I started working in 1996, 97, 98. In those days, you didn't even hear about those things. Analysis. Isabel emphasizes her entrepreneurial legacy while sidestepping questions about the broader socio-economic implications of her wealth and influence in Angola. 6. Evasion of responsibility for Angolan economic woes. Isabel Dos Santos, Angola is the first or the second largest oil producer in the continent, and many business people make money in Angola. Analysis. Isabel shifts attention to Angola's economic potential without addressing systemic issues like income inequality, corruption, and poverty, suggesting a detachment from the lived realities of ordinary citizens. Conclusion. In this interview, Isabel Dos Santos projects an image of a successful entrepreneur and significant contributor to Angola's economy. However, her responses often deflect from the pressing socio-economic challenges in Angola, highlighting her focus on personal achievements and business interests over empathy for the country's struggles. This disconnect may further shape public opinion and scrutiny around her role in Angola's development and the allegations against her.